Alright, so this video is about the GP headers. That's what it's about. So I'll show you my little rundown. I've got the old headers removed. My phone camera, the glass is broke. I don't know how that happened. So I'm having a very difficult time getting my phone to focus. I'm sorry, I'm kind of behind the times here. It's the best camera I got. So I've got the GP header stubs bolted on. Old headers are removed. I removed the heat exchanger cooler lines. There's the hose that connects from here to the, well, you can take my word for it, back of the intake up there is that same size hose there, 1.25 inch. Pretty dang big hose. So after all the header issues I've had, and it's probably hard to see, but so cylinders 7 and 8, even cylinder 6 is pretty wide open. But when you get to cylinder 5, right there, it's very tight. And the same thing with cylinder 1. So I've got a radical idea. I don't know if it's going to work out, but my idea is 180 degree headers. I've got enough room behind the engine to run 4 pipes. I'm going to have to do some major relocation of everything. But I've started my first tube, which number 1, which it comes out of the head there. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the white PVC there, and it runs down. I'm going to drop down below the frame belt. Well, it's actually twisted on me, but anyway, so there's a collector, the GP headers collector, and ground clearance is a big issue. You can see how low my oil pan is. Of course, it's jacked up in the air, but my oil pan is only 2 inches above the ground at a ride height, which is pretty dangerous. But I haven't had any major issues so far, besides driving across my yard, and I did hit a stump with the oil pan. So if anybody knows anything about 180 degree headers, obviously it's a pain in the ass. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's very difficult. But so my idea is to make 2 plates, kind of like this right here, and those 2 plates would that would be the 4 pipes that cross over behind the motor. So those plates right there will hopefully go back there. There is enough room if I just clean everything up, which has to be done anyway. And then if you're looking into the back of the collector, if you were looking at the back of the exhaust looking forward, so that would be the firing order, I guess you'd call it. I guess you could say it. And so I made a lot of notes here, and I think I got it down pat. It's just pulling it off. So this is strictly PVC pipe. My biggest challenge is making this model, making it sturdy enough to ship back to GP. And That's my challenge right there. So you've got a set bolt here and a nut there. So you clock this however that you want it. The threaded part screws in to the header flange stubs. They've got hose clamps that cinch those tight. And then you just slide the PVC pipe over this right here, and then run your screws in there to hold it still. So it can work. It's simply a matter of me building the model that is stationary enough to be able to ship without the tubes moving whatsoever, so that they can reproduce my model. That's my challenge right there, is making a model that is stationary enough that it doesn't move during shipping. So I'm going to be extremely mindful of packaging and all that stuff so that they can reproduce it and it turn out to be perfect, which I'm confident I can make the model. My fear is the 180-degree headers. That's a challenge, and I think it's a lot more challenge for me than it's going to be GP. They don't even know that I have this idea. They're going to find out here soon. But I do understand that the more secure I make the model, the greater success that we're going to have in this whole venture here. Why am I choosing 180-degree headers? Well, I'll tell you. The truck is very radical. It makes a ton of power, but I got to stay unique. This motor, Ford 4.63 valve. It's got big cams in it, stage 3 Cushman blower cams. It has a unique sound to it, and I don't really need any more power. I mean, I'm making plenty of power, probably too much power. But the sound of 180-degree headers, I have yet to see a Ford modular motor with 180-degree headers. So I'm going to try to pull it off. I can't tell you for sure that that I'll be able to pull it off, but that is my goal. So we'll see how it all goes. As far as under the hood goes, which is pretty much, I mean, it's pretty much a nightmare. Number one is I have a ram air that I built a long time ago, back when it was naturally aspirated, back when I was running a nitrous. So I had a fiberglass box here built for the air filter, but the air coming out of here was hitting the filter, and it was making the mass airflow go crazy. So what I've learned is that I can build a box. It can fill the box. The ram air here can fill the box. It just can't hit the filter directly. So that is one of my winter projects, is to build a box here. Cool air filling the box, but not hitting the side of the filter. There's going to hit back here, fill the box in the engine. It'll take in the air it needs. The other thing is my power steering reservoir and cooler, which, I don't know, a lot of people said this is like a moonshine still. And it works very well, but this is all going to be relocated probably back there and underneath the inner fender. The inner fenders have got to be raised up because my tires are hitting the underside of the inner fender. So that's going to be taken care of. So I'm probably going to build just a sheet metal a raised area for tire clearance. My other major issue that I'm going to deal with this winter is neatening up the wiring. Well, I tried to hide the engine harness underneath the intake manifold, and I had a lot of issues with that. So my biggest thing is this gigantic loop of engine harness that goes to the computer. Right there, if I can find the pins that will work in the computer, I can shorten this harness and neaten that way up, because this is a lot of excess wiring. I mean, all this right here, all this is excess wiring. Either that or relocate that stuff to a safe place somewhere in there. My RX catch can, I'm going to relocate that. I'm going to hide that back there in the back underneath the inner fender. So I got my work cut out for me. I've lowered the radiator, and that's working out good. So here is my new fill spot for the radiator. No more gas bottle. This is working good. I made a temporary a recovery system. It's just temporary. It's some redneck crap. It's an old receiver dryer that I cut apart, took the desiccant bag out, and made a recovery tank, and it works. So all I know now is that I can buy a recovery tank and place it there again back here at the back of the engine compartment underneath the inner fenders. So that's part of my goal. But so right now the goal is the headers, and there's tube number 1. It is in place. There's the collector, and there's my exhaust system with a V-band clamp. I thought this was going to be extremely easy, but it isn't. But I have a ton of room back there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I guess you can. Between the firewall and the back of the engine, there's enough room to run 4 pipes there. So that's just kind of my goal. And so I wrote down, my winter goals. Obviously, headers are number 1. Neaten underneath the hood. Fix the alternator flex. My alternator's flexing really bad. And Jason Eder, Department of Boost, sent me some brackets and stuff to stiffen up the alternator mount. You can rev the motor up, you can watch the alternator flex. So my other goal is to relocate everything under the hood to improve the center of gravity, and that's what I was just talking about. And then paint, well, hopefully I'll get to that. Headers are number 1, neatening everything up underneath the hood, both visually and to improve the center of gravity. So I just wanted to show you the GP headers. It's a nice setup. And once I get the model made on both sides, I'll make another video and show you how it turns out. Man, wish me luck. I need it. I'll see you guys.